Hi, I'm Anupa and I welcome you to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana, and the Diwali festivities have begun, and so has it begun in our kitchen also. So today is not a normal day, it is all dedicated to Diwali and of course Diwali snacks. So what am I going to show you now? I am going to show you a Shankarpara or a Shankarpali. So to make Shankarpali we need refined flour, sugar, semolina which is rava, the fine rava, ghee, and of course to fry you can also fry it in oil, and I know some people who actually do it with pure ghee. So if you are that kind of a person who believes in using purest of ingredients, please fry this in pure desi ghee. So to begin with, there is a little task that you have to do, so we will do it one by one. So there are two things. One is where you have to make a syrup and one part is where you have to make the dough. So how do you do that? We'll quickly see. Here in a pan I am going to make some sugar syrup. So I have this sugar which I will now make it into a syrup. So to make a sugar syrup we need to add some water. So I am adding about half a cup of water. So while the syrup is getting done, I have got some refined flour here with me, which is also known as maida. What I have here is rava, semolina, suji, and now what you have to add into this to make it khasta is pure ghee. So no kanjusi, no diet, nothing. We are going to do pure Diwali snacks. So refined flour and suji. So what I am going to do is I am going to rub in the ghee into this, and also while this is happening you please keep a watch on the sugar syrup also. So nothing to be wasted. Yeah. Now you have to get all of this together, and I am going to then make the dough into the food processor because it needs good amount of kadai in which I have put oil for heating, so that once we are ready with the Shankarpara or the Shankarpali, we can then fry it. So what you should do is gather the dough or gather the flour together and rub it like this, so that each and every particle gets coated with the ghee, or else what will happen is while you make the dough, the ghee will get stuck onto one side. So now while I actually play with the flour, I come to know that the ghee has done its job. It's really well coated to each and every grain or particle, and now I can actually go ahead and make the dough, but for which I need my sugar syrup. So here I see, so the syrup is done. We do not need any particular string consistency for the syrup. As long as the sugar melts completely, we are sorted. Switch off the heat, the syrup is done. We will put the entire flour mixture into this, and into this we'll add in a pinch of salt. The salt is not to add flavor but to enhance the flavor of sugar. So to make my job easy, I'm going to do this in a processor, and now I'm going to add the syrup little by little. It's still a bit warm but doesn't matter. And you have to make this into not a very soft dough, but a dough that you can roll and then fry. So in between you need to stop, bring this up, gather everything back into the bowl, pull it back and then start. So the dough is almost done. All that I have to do is remove it out. Remember, whatever dough it may be, whether it is a Shankarpara, Shankarpali, samosa, or as simple as a roti dough, whenever you made the dough you will have to rest it for some time. So same applies to this dough as well. After you have made this into a dough like this, you will have to rest it for at least 10 minutes. Only then will you be able to roll it, because you have actually played with the gluten, which is the protein in the maida, which will actually act better after you give it a good rest. But before that, I remember a story, or I remember an incident. While we were kids, my mother used to make this dough and leave it for rest for at least about half an hour or so. I'm sure half an hour is not needed, 15 minutes is good enough time. But she would make not just Shankarpali, but she would make chivda, laddu, chakli, sev. So this dough would be resting in one corner of the kitchen. And this dough by itself is so tasty that me and my sister together would eat a good portion of it. And by the time my mother would come to the kitchen and see the bowl where a little bit of it is over, she would wonder who's eaten it. And of course, she knew who it was, but it was so tasty. I hope these turn out as tasty as it used to be then. Let's give it a try. So I'll just rest this, and in the meanwhile, I'll just clean up the kitchen. Okay, so the dough has been resting. So what we'll do is we'll take a little portion of the dough and then roll. We won't take all of it, although I know where I know places or my family members who actually do it over a back of a thali. So 4-5 thalis full of dough they roll onto the thalis, and then they cut it, and all of it goes into a big kadai and they fry it. But of course, in nuclear families, you also don't make so much of snacks, so you make little. So that's what we are also going to do today. Maybe we just need a little bit of flour for dusting. I'm going to use a knife and cut this into diamonds. So very carefully put all of it into the oil at the same time, and if the oil is too hot, switch off the heat, otherwise the center will stay raw and what you will have is just golden fried dumplings. So the Shankarpali is done. We can now bring it out of the oil, but I prefer it to have a little more color. So we'll let this stay in the oil for a little longer time. So once this is done, bring it out and let it rest till it comes to room temperature, and that's the only time when you can eat this. Okay, so that's about it. While I put some more in, I'll also put it into a plate and present it to you. So this is an ongoing process. Diwali snacks are something which you need to make in abundance, because not just for your family members, you also have to distribute it to your friends and other relatives. So make lots of it and enjoy it with all your family and friends. So here you go, Shankarpali or Shakarpara, whatever you wish to call it, is ready. Your recipe for Diwali is also ready. Just get into your kitchen and dish out lots of Diwali sweets and wish you a very happy Diwali.